Welcome back to the show, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode. We're so glad for you guys to be watching us, and we're happy to interact with you guys. Thank you guys for all the constant support. To all the new subscribers, welcome to Too Much with
Shey.
I forgot the with and Becca. And y'all, we got a lot to get into today. But like I said, if you're new here, thank you so much for tuning into us. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We talk about a bunch of different things because, as the title of our podcast is called Too Much, and we get into a lot. And if you are reoccurring, thank you so much for continuously supporting us. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Well, you guys are subscribed if you're watching and you're reoccurring. At least I hope. According to Shayla, some people be watching stuff and they never subscribe to people's channels. So,
well, it's not even according to me. We have 300 views on certain videos and we don't have that many subscribers. So clearly the math is not mathing.
Clock it. But like we said, we're about to get into all the mess and everything like that. But as always, what we do is our weekly rundown. So let's get into that. What's happening? So Shayla, what's going on? What's happening in your week?
So my week has been okay. I mean, as you guys, I feel like I mentioned it in a prior episode. Like, I've been on the job hunt journey, which has been hard. And if you are a woman, you may or may not be able to relate, but PMSing is a real thing. And I know I am about to get on my period when I start getting extra emotional. I am an emotional person, just period. But when when that thing is coming, I just cry like crazy. So on top of like the job hunting process being extremely hard, my extra hormones just make it even harder. Like, I had to tell myself, like, Shayla, control your emotions. So other than that, my week has been good. I'm trying to go out, work out, try to not think so hard. I'm like, I need a job. Just I have been working since I was 16, like whenever I was legally allowed to have a job. So I'm just trying to like redirect my emotions and be like, maybe this is just a sign that I need this time to not have a job because I have been working for I still have a lot of more years to work. I'm young, but
Right.
I've been working since I was 16. Like, I've always kept a job. So this is a very new territory for me. Like, I'm not the type to be on unemployment. And of course, no tea, no shade. Like, if you have to do it. Like, girl, I'm gonna have to get on that soon. But it's always very scary when you start a journey. It's like uncharted territory for me, not having a job and trying to just stay positive because I know I'm able and qualified. But rejection is hard. And as I've said in prior episodes, like, don't let rejection make you forget who you are. And I feel like this week I kind of let the rejection get to me a little bit, but I'm sure that I will shake that off. And next week I'll be back, on the grind. How was your week?
I just want to say really quickly, I know Shayla is her own cheerleader, but I am cheering for you, praying for you, and hoping that everything changes. I'm waiting for you to get into your winning season. I just feel like, as you mentioned, hit after hit after hit, you can start to question yourself and look at yourself and like look at life like, dang, what did I do wrong? But just know there are people who are rooting for you to win. And I can't wait for people to finally see the amazing person that I know you are and the capable person that I know you are. And yeah, just give you that opportunity because you definitely deserve it.
I appreciate that. I truly do.
Because there's people we see who don't deserve half these opportunities and they just be living la vida loca. And it just don't make no sense, right?
Listen, I'm never here to knock anyone's hustle. Like, if you was able to get it, shout out to you.
No, facts. As for me, I would say, where they be like, don't look like your problems. Like, I know I look real cute today. Like, I even put some shadow on, and I would love to say it's for y'all, but like after this, boom, boom, boom. Remember, my life is just I'm doing my birthday photo shoot, and then I'm also planning the rest of the stuff for my birthday, but I'm also doing other things for work that I have to do. So it's just like, I'm just, I'm freaking out internally, but I'm trying to do better instead of like complaining to my friends, just handle things on my own. And I'm doing decent so far. I just give the updates that I need to give and then I keep pushing. But life has been lifing. Emphasis on ing. Okay. It keeps going and going and going and going. And I was just like, dang, yesterday Shayla and I did go to the Friday concert. Um, Vito performed. He was the first one to perform. You know, Shayla and I had our thoughts on that. But then when Friday came out to perform, even though he came out late, I love my cousin. It was like good vibes, and I love the message that he was putting out. Basically, like no matter how hard life is, like just understand like you're not where you used to be, and like I'm not gonna stop going. And yeah, I think like we never talked about what we rated the concert. Like, what did you rate the concert?
I First of all, if you don't know who Friday is, let's start there. He is a Haitian, I think R&B hip hop. Would you consider that his genre?
Yeah, like
Mainly
R&B,
R&B, I feel like.
yeah, sometimes he do a little 1-2 rap, but like that's it.
Right. So R&B hip hop artist, and he's been on the map for a long time, but for me, I just got onto him this year. I can't even lie. So we bought the tickets. It was at Madison Square Garden Theater, which I've never been to before, and it was like a very intimate type of vibe space. It still held a lot of people, but I would say I have no doubt that Friday is about to pop off. Like he's only going up from here, but it's like mid-tier type of vibe. And like Rebecca said, I love that the room was filled with a lot of like Black, Caribbean, Haitian people. Like you can tell I've been to several concerts, and the demographics sometimes you could just tell, but this was predominantly like Caribbean Black people, which I loved. Everyone had their Haitian flags, and it was just very culturally driven. And I love that because, as we mentioned, we're very pro culture and, showing up for our people.
I see it in the back.
Yeah. So the concert was supposed to begin at 8 p.m. and his like startup artist, or like not the startup, but like the opening act was Vito. And he didn't come in, I think, until like I don't think he started at 8.
I
But
think it was like around like 8:48, 8:50.
Yeah, and he performed a lot of his songs. I never knew who Vito was. I think I knew one song, and he waited until his last song to play that song. And I'm like, okay, it was very like sexually driven songs. And I am just not that type of girl. I'm okay with a little sexual thing, 1, 2, but like when it gets so explicit, I just feel a little bit uncomfortable. But the dancers that he had on stage ate down, they did their thing. Okay, whatever. And then Friday didn't come out till like 2 hours later. And the thing that was baffling, like if he's gonna be late, okay, but you guys let me know in the comments. Do you show up 2 hours late for a concert? Because there were people showing up, mind you, the concert is set to start at 8 p.m. And there were people showing up at like 9:30. I'm like, at that point, I would just not show up to the concert. Like, am I the problem for showing up on time? Why are you showing up at a concert that's supposed to start at 8 p.m. at like nearly 10? Lucky enough, like maybe they were a part of his team and they knew what was happening, and that's why they show up late. But other than that, he did bring out Meek Mill and A Boogie, right?
Yes, I was telling
And Rebecca said that we were on the line, we waited online for an hour because unlike the people that show up 3 hours later, the early people got to wait online. And I'm not mad at it. We got a little. Oh, let's also discuss how at Madison Square Garden, the theater, the drinks, Rebecca paid $45 for a drink.
Shayla, do you have the cup?
Listen, I'm on a budget. Like I said, I'm unemployed. But even before being unemployed, girl, I need to be on a budget.
Wait, do you still have the cup?
Yeah, I do, but I will
Oh,
have to get that.
y'all, when I tell you, like, I'm gonna give y'all an example, right? So, like, when Shayla and I were going to get food, Shayla was already complaining that she was hungry. And so me and Shayla
Not
looked at the,
complaining. That's OD. I was just
but
hungry.
like you would say you was hungry. And then you texted me asking me if the food, whatever. So Shayla was hungry, right? So then once we get in there, me and Shayla are in the line, like we mentioned, because we got there an hour in advance. So like we're looking at the food options that Madison Square Garden has, period. So we're looking. We're like, okay, we're gonna try this one place. Like Shayla's like, oh, I've seen it before. I never had it. Yada yada yada. So
No,
I'm
I
like,
have had it. They
oh,
have
you
it at
did?
30 Rock. Fuku, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you had it. Okay, bet. So I'm like, okay, we can get like a sandwich or something from there or something like that. So then we go there and then we had to wait in another line once we were allowed inside. And the lady was like, oh yeah, there's food options. Like I think chicken tenders and stuff. So me and Shayla are expecting like the generic, like, you know, when you go to these places type of food. We pull up, all they got is hot dogs, pretzels, and nachos. There's not chicken tenders, there's no fries, there's no other options. This is it. So then I'm like, okay. And then like they have like this open cap policy. Like once you open your drink, you can't go in with the cap. Like you gotta hold it like this. But like I got a Gatorade, so they put it in a regular cup for me. So I'm like, okay, cool. And Shayla's like, do you want to get a drink? I'm like, these are the drinks. Shayla's like, no, there's like a bar right here. I was like, oh, okay. And then I saw Hennessy. So you know your girl, anything is possible. So I'm like, yes, I'm here for it. So then Shayla asked the lady, she's like, oh, how much is the drinks? The lady was like, oh, one, like for one, it's 20. I
One shot, a
didn't even
shot.
hear the prices until I said to Shayla, I was like, wait, how much is the double? Because I thought the double was like, I thought she literally said yours was $13. And then I'm like, oh, if
No.
a singular is a 13, then the other one gotta be like 21. Baby, was I wrong? The single shot drink was $21 and the one that's double was 45. And Shayla, like when I said how much is it? Shayla's like, it's 21 times two. I said,
And I'm just like, it gets to a point. Like the cap thing, I'm not even mad because I feel like even Prudential here does it too, like
yeah,
whatever security. But I just think that is very much OD.
I was
$21. I mean, I'll pay the 21, but that's taxed. $21 for a shot in a drink is extremely nasty work. And also, how you don't got chicken tenders and fries? That's the basic meal of a arena. Like, but
and then
whatever. And it was just very triggering. But let's get
wait,
back to the
let me just say
Friday.
this
Let's get
last
back to
part really
Friday.
quickly, right? So then I was like telling the lady's pouring my drink because I got the double. I know your girl paid $45. I'm stupid, but whatever. So like the lady's pouring the liquor, and I'm like, since I paid $45, I'm telling her like keep the liquor going. Like I told her take out some of the ice, and I was like keep the liquor going. And the lady gonna look at me dead in my face, but no tip. I looked at her like, girl, what? I just paid $45 for a drink and you think I'm about to tip you on top of it? Girl, I'm not one of them people. I don't like to be one of them people. But that night I was one of them people. I don't care. Like the tip is stop playing with me. That's what it is. But back to Friday. I would say I rated the concert like and I'm talking about including his performance and everything like that. I give it a solid 7. I think the waiting and the lull kind of irritated me. But once like Friday came out, like he brought the energy. And then also I was telling Shayla I should have put a parlay out because like when we were standing in line, I told the people, I was like, oh, like they're like, who do you think he's gonna bring? I was like, he gonna bring A Boogie. And they're like, no, he's not gonna bring A Boogie. I was like, and
I didn't say no. I just
you
said that
just
I'm
said
not.
no.
No, I said that I'm not. I wasn't like, oh, I want him to come out. I was more excited of like, oh, if he would bring out Meek Mill. That's what my
Right.
thing is. I'm
So
like,
then
okay, I don't care about A Boogie.
he was like, oh, I'm gonna bring out the king of New York City. I said, A Boogie. And then A Boogie came out. And then as I'm recording, all I hear is Meek Mill. I said, yo, I should have put a parlay out. Oh, the one thing that did irritate me, he did bring this one girl out on the stage. So like she could, I forget what the name of the song was, like, so he could sing to her. This girl like this, mind you, you know, if you come to an artist's concert and you love that artist, I'm singing with you. I'm stuck in it. I'm talking about in it, okay? I'm gonna be in it. This girl sitting here cutesy, lean back, just staring, and then she's gonna take out her phone and start recording him. Never singing, never nothing. I'm like, oh baby, you You wasn't being for real.
Yeah, for me, I also felt that. I don't know. Sometimes when these things happen, I feel like there's so many security risks that like come into play. So sometimes I be feeling like it be their own team type of people, like a friend's friend that just goes in there. But if this was someone that was actually like a part of the audience, I feel like sometimes they pick people just straight off of looks because she was really pretty and she had these little boots on. But like I would prefer to pick someone just straight off the audience, like front row, because those are usually the people that actually know your music. And I feel like you would get more out of that in terms of like content because they know the lyrics, they'll serenade back. Like I didn't even have a problem with recording because okay, you pull up the phone, but show interest of the fact that you have Friday singing to you. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
she wasn't even tapping the little toes with the beat. Like and it'd be the same chorus over and over again. So let's say you ain't know the music from the jump, but by the third time he repeating himself, you better have gathered the lyrics. But anyways, we had a great time. I'm so excited for Friday, and I know it's only up from
What's your
here.
rating?
Huh?
What was your rating?
I would say I'm just gonna rate him as an artist. He has very good vocals, and I really like his music and when it like what it gives to me. So I think he was a really good performer. I would rate him as a performer. I would give it an 8. I didn't like how he ended the show. It gave very much just a regular man. Peace out, New York, or something like that, and he just
Yeah.
left. It wasn't like usually when he end like it's like boom boom. I mean, he did end with Meek Mill, but like that could have been produced up a little bit more than just
Right.
like I'm out.
Right. Right.
Okay, but I rate his performance an 8. He did very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. All right, let's get into our actual topic. So last week, as you guys mentioned, well, if you are new here, last week we talked about the New Jersey governor primaries that were happening earlier this week, which was Tuesday. And so we officially got our results and we know exactly who our winners are. So this week, we're just going to talk a little bit about the people who won and kind of like my reaction to it. So, for the Republican Party, Jack I hope I'm saying Chitterelli. I think that's how you pronounce it. And Mikiesherrill. First off, did you know that Mikiesherrill's name is Rebecca? Girl, I was stunned. I said, oh, had I known, I might have liked her a little more. But no. So those are going to be the two people who are running in the New Jersey official governor's race once we reach November. So when first off, this was one of the quickest elections I have ever seen in my life. Cause I was at work and I'm monitoring this and everything like that. And literally we started our coverage at 8 p.m. By mind you, the polls closed at 8 p.m. also. We found out who won the Republican Party at 8:19. Do you know how crazy that is? 19 minutes after everything closed, we already found out the winner. And it's like the numbers weren't even close. Like he was already in like, I want to say 120,000 votes ahead of like his next competitor. And also, it's important to mention that he was one of the people who was endorsed by Trump. So that kind of like helped push him more into like a lot of his, like the people who voted for him's eyes, I'm assuming. And then for Mikiesherrill, I would say about, I want to say 30 minutes after we found out about the Republican who won for the Republican Party, we found out that Mikiesherrill won. So Shayla had shared last week. I'll let you speak to who you wanted to win.
Yeah. So for me, I think this is exactly why I preach the importance of voting. I think a lot of people, especially my age, but also in my demographic where I'm from, like I've said, I'm from Patterson. If you are not from Jersey, around the area, I live in a very urban area. You know what I mean? Like people that are living paycheck to paycheck, people that, aren't really tapped into politics, and social media is not real life. We say this all the time because if you were going based off of social media, a lot of times people talk and we're like, when I posted the video on our social medias about like my top 3 candidates, a lot of people in the comments was like, oh, I voted for Ras Baraka. I voted for Ras Baraka. And on the online discourse, it was like, oh, Ras Baraka, Ras Baraka. But the reality is that a lot of people did not show up and vote. And Mikiesherrill is a representative of, a predominantly white town. She has the name recognition, and she supports or like represents people that actually show up and vote. And that is just the truth of the matter. So it doesn't matter if you hop online and you talk about XYZ the third. If you're not putting actions behind those words, it doesn't mean anything. And there are also people that lie. Like, I don't understand why you would sit on social media and be like, oh yeah, I voted, when you know very much that you did not. And at the end of the day, like, the facts are gonna show up. So something was not adding up, because a lot of people were trying to talk about how they were supporting X candidate, but if the results came in less than an hour before the polls ended, clearly a lot of people did not show up and vote. And it is what it is. At the end of the day, Mikiesherrill won in the primaries. And number two, when it comes to Jack, I think he's not new to this. When it comes to the Republican Party, he has been the candidate that has been front and center. I believe when Governor Phil Murphy got reelected, he only won by a very, very slim majority. And, you know, he had that support already going from back then. So it was just kind of like reinforced now. And as you mentioned, he's trying to connect himself with Trump. So that probably helped him out as well. But at the end of the day, now these are the candidates that will be officially running. And again, please don't make the same mistake that has happened in the primaries or just in voting in general. A lot of people claim that they want things to get better for their towns. They want this, they want that. But all they do is sit behind a phone, a computer, and complain and complain and complain. But when it comes to action, they do nothing. So please make sure that you go out and vote if you don't like what's happening in your community, and not even like just in Jersey, just in general, all across the United States or wherever you may be from. It's cute to complain about things, but the reality is that you need politicians, right? Because those are the people that can actually create change, whether you like it or not. You need to show up in the booth. So that's just
So,
my little 2 cents on that.
like for me, when I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all, Shayla had given all her people that she had wanted, and I was never a fan of Ross Baraka because of my own personal reasons, right? And when I found out he didn't win and I saw how low his percentage was, I was like, good, because like I said, personal reasons. When I saw that Mikiesherrill was the person who was going to win, I originally had thought it was either going to be Spiller or it was going to be Full Up. And I didn't want it to be Full Up either, right? So when I saw it was Mikiesherrill, I was like, this is very interesting to me. And the reason why I find it very interesting is because I feel like this is going to kind of be similar to when it was like Hillary Clinton and Trump. Because everybody, like you said, we're in these bubbles where we think people are going to vote or go in a certain direction, but that's because we're in these bubbles where we follow people or interact with people who share the same type of mindset and concepts that we do. And so it's like, I feel like you're going to see that kind of like that type of tension, because even with the past election that we had for the president, when it was Trump versus Kamala, people don't want women in places of power. I don't care how you try to frame it to me. I don't care how you try to paint the picture. That is literally the end all be all. That's what it gives to me. Right? So when I saw that it was going to be Mikiesherrill versus Jack, I was just like, yeah, this is going to be very interesting, because the last time New Jersey had a female governor, this was the first and last one. Her name was Christine Temple Whitman, and she was the New Jersey governor from 1994 to 2001. And that was literally the last time we've ever had a woman in place of power as a governor. So I just think it's going to be very interesting because, like I just said, I don't feel like people like to see women be uplifted, but they don't want to see them in certain places of power because either they just don't feel like women will be the ones to be able to lead that type of charge, or they just aren't confident in a woman's ability to just lead anything. I think that's going to also be a factor. So on top of Jack having Trump support and people, you already see how his people are. Like if he say he love that, they're gonna love that. But I think also the fact that women don't always support women, that's another thing too.
Yeah, and like we're not sitting here saying that you have to support a woman just
Mhm,
simply because
mhm.
they're a woman, right? Like of course you vote for who you ever want to vote for, but I 1,000% agree with you. I think just the fact that she is a woman is already gonna be used against her.
Yeah.
And I think also, even if you don't agree with all her policies and things like that, I think, some people don't agree with this, right? Like they're like, oh, well, why should I have to settle for this person? I'm just not going to go out and vote. I think that is also a mistake because this is how sometimes we land where we land because a lot of people stay home. So I just think my message is please don't sit out. Because if you do sit out, I feel like I don't want to hear you complaining. I don't. I don't. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, especially now with all the things that are happening around the world, they're like, "Oh, well, I'm good because I'm in a blue state." Oh, I'm especially in Jersey because I feel like we haven't really felt a lot of like the craziness. Like, don't get me wrong, I know it is happening, but we haven't felt it to the level that it can get to because we have had, leaders that are kind of more left leaning. So just you might be sitting in comfort, but in order to maintain that, make sure that you go out and vote because things can change in a blink of an eye. You saying real pretty right now, but when them reproductive rights are being shaken up, when they going into your job and conducting these ICE raids and they're doing XYZ, the public education funding goes down and all of these other things that you may not be feeling right now, I don't want to hear about it if you did not vote. I'm not saying you 1,000% have to believe every single policy that Mikey Sherrill stands for. I don't think there is a perfect candidate, period. Everyone lacks something. Even as humans, we all lack something. Sometimes you do have to settle or just compromise just for the simple fact of getting things done. And so a lot of people, it's hard to even own a home in Jersey, right? Like home ownership in New Jersey, the prices has gone through the roof. So just make sure that you're thinking about all these things when it comes time to November. And again, get in the booth.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
So on that note, we could move on to our next topic, which is something that I'm sure you guys
Oh,
have.
wait. I didn't even show y'all. This is what Mikey Sherrill looks like. She's on the left, and then Jack Ciattarelli, he was on the right. Sorry, I forgot.
No, it's okay. So our next topic, I'm sure you guys have seen all over social media, the news, everywhere. Thousands of people have rallied out at demonstrations nationwide to oppose immigration and custom enforcement raids. Hundreds of people have been arrested or detained in several cities, including Seattle, New York City, Chicago, and the rallies are expected to continue. This is like we're gonna focus a little bit on Los Angeles just because this is where legal action and troops have been sent to, et cetera, et cetera. But these rallies are happening all across the United States. So President Donald Trump and his defense secretary Pete Hegseth authorized the deployment of about 700 Marines and more than 2,000 National Guard troops to Los Angeles, Texas. To Los Angeles and Texas. Governor Greg Abbott said today, Friday, he has deployed more than 5,000 National Guards troops to quell protests in the state. So a lot of these protests are happening because of ICE raids, right? Like they're going into places that they shouldn't be going to in order to like illegally kind of like, I don't even know what the right word is, but it's like they're forcing the issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember in other episodes where I'm like, well, President Trump keeps saying that he just wants to get rid of criminals, criminals, criminals. But if you are showing up to someone while they're on their way to, their appointment to get their green card, that is contradicting what you're saying. Because if you're saying that you're trying to just, round up criminals, but here's someone that's working to get their green card and you're intentionally waiting for them outside to deport them, like that, like the math is not mathing. So I think that's why a lot of people are protesting, because it's like illegal ICE raids. And then on top of that, you're sending troops to, kind of like dispel the people or like calm them so they don't go out and they don't protest. But it's like you're adding fuel to the fire. You're adding fuel to the fire. And this kind of reminds me a little bit of like, when in 2020, when the Black Lives Matter marches were happening, all you saw in the news is like looting. Well, look, they're breaking down businesses and they're doing this and they're doing that. And I think sometimes we lose sight of how things started. And then we just focus on like, well, why are they breaking down cars? Why are they breaking down small businesses? And it's like, how did we get here? And I think we're losing sight of what is happening. And I've said this thousands of times. Immigration is not something that like should, like, people are demonizing it. Like, oh, well, you should just come here the right way. That's something that I hear a lot. Well, I came here the right way, so why can't they? And I think sometimes people forget that that's a privilege, right? Like, maybe you came here the right way because you had the privilege of having a family member, a wife, an uncle, somebody that could sponsor you for you to come here the right way.
My whole thing, sorry, to your point about the right way, is that like historically, even these people who are saying that, their ancestors who have come from all the European countries who have come here didn't even come here the right way. Half of them did not come here the right way until people started saying, oh, like, let's make this the way that's the right way. And people still weren't doing that. So it's like you're demonizing people from specific countries that you look at less than the ones who come from this other side of the country, I mean, the world, who come here and you're like, oh, it's okay though, because we approve of these type of people. Like, that is the problem that I'm having with this whole problem with like immigration and everything like that. It's like, if you're going to sit here and apply these standards, these rules, and these everything to the whole topic of immigration, let me see that happen for the people who came here from Italy. Let me see this happen for the people who came from anywhere in those type of directions. You're focused on all African and Asian American, I said Asian American, African and Asian countries. Like, that is what it is giving. It's like, what?
Yeah, and I just think, again, immigrating to a country, I just feel like that's not something that is a crime. Like, when Native Americans were here, and Christopher Columbus or whoever came here and was like, well, I'm taking your land and I'm displacing you, and now I'm here, and yeah, took people from other countries, brought them here to be slaves. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just giving, I don't get it. And I don't like a lot of people that are like, well, if people are breaking the rules and they extended their visas and they're doing XYZ, then they deserve to be deported. I'm just like, okay, if that is your thinking, just know that Shayla disagrees with that. But if you are standing 10 toes down with that belief, okay. But just know, when it comes time to anything that I don't know. I just think that's very selfish thinking, that, well, if it doesn't affect me, I'm good. And a lot of times people feel like, well, I don't want to speak up because I don't know about it. I don't know too much about politics. But I just feel like no one deserves to be treated that way. And especially in this administration, because I'm not going to lie, Trump is not the only one that has deported people. There's been several administrations where deportation numbers have actually been higher. But I just feel like it's just the way that this administration is dehumanizing people, and they're trying to make it seem like it's a joke. That is what is triggering to me, because they're making fun of it. They are, like, it's like they're not humans. And I just feel like, how would you feel if that was your family member and that is how they're being treated? Because there's also a way to go about it. If you're deporting people, okay, but like the way that they're doing it is just very much triggering. You stopping people while they're on their way to practice. a student that's not doing anything, that's not bothering anyone. And again, this whole notion that they're just targeting criminals is a lie. It's a lie. They're not just targeting criminals. They're not.
Yeah. Yeah, girl, first off, I agree with you. Like, we have seen throughout history how different, like you mentioned, different administrations have done this whole deportation and stuff like that. And like, immigration is always like a hot button issue for everybody. But sometimes I need people to sit there and tell me, like, what is the root of it for you? If it's the fact that people are coming here from other countries or whatever like that, and when they get here, they're doing criminal activities, okay, sure, we'll take that. But it's like, if you're so worried about them coming here to be criminals, I need you to have the same energy for the people who are from here, who are born Americans and are criminals too. I feel like y'all pick and choose when y'all want to gauge that, because let's say, if a prime example, if somebody came here from whatever country, you fill in the blank of whatever country you want it to be, if they came here from another country and decided to do exactly the same actions that Luigi did, would you have that same support for them? Like, I need people to let me know, like, where is it that you gauge it? Because it doesn't make sense to me. And Shayla, my question for you, right? So I've been seeing this topic, like, people are talking about the increase of different rallies and protests happening everywhere. And people are now having this conversation of like, let the white people be the ones to protest. Like, minorities, Black people should not be the ones getting involved. Like, this is their fight. So it's like, what is your thought process to
Um, I don't believe in that, but that's just me and how I move and how I operate. It may not affect you right now, but then when it does become you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very much a community driven type of person. And so I'm not gonna lie and be like, people get tired, right? Because this is a constant issue. It feels like a revolving door. We're always talking about the same issues, the same things. But like, how can you expect people to show up for you if you never show up for them? That's just how I feel about the situation. Like, okay, you may not be Latino, right? Or like, you might feel like, well, I was born here, so immigration has nothing to do with me,
that?
until it does. Like, I don't know, I don't believe with that. I don't believe in that. But if you feel that way, then hey, I know that there are consequences, especially, when you are a person of color, you're not held to the same standard, and maybe like you're more likely to get arrested than a white person that's out there protesting. But so what? I'm not gonna fight because of those consequences. Like, I don't know. I don't agree with that sentiment.
So before I answer that question, I'm going to show you guys this video of like a reporter basically who was reporting on the whole LA protests that were happening. And like, yeah, let me just show you.
Moving in on horseback, firing rubber bullets at protesters, moving them on through the heart of LA. You just shut the fuck up. You okay? I'm good.
So when I saw that, like in the video, you clearly see the officer, or maybe it was, I don't know which part department, national, whatever he was from, but like he literally turned, aimed, and shot at her. So it's like, to me, I'm like, you did that on purpose. That was your intent. And I'm like, we have, like, to the point of the conversation that we're having where people are like, this is like a white person's fight, right? Like, they should be the ones speaking up, doing this and everything like that. I'm like, if that man turned that even though it was rubber bullets, even though he turned that gun, shot it at that lady's calf, I'm like, if he's willing to do that to a white woman, I can't even imagine what he would do if it was a person of color. So, like, to me, to your point, I think it all depends on the person. Well, to the question I asked, I think it all depends on the person. I'm not going to sit here and be like, no, you need to stand up, you need to fight, you need to do this. And I'm not going to be the type of person who's like, you can stay silent. You can stay silent. I'm not going to be that type of person. I'm going to say, pick your battles. And when you pick your battles, understand, like Shayla mentioned, the consequences that come with it, what might happen. And also, what do you think, like when you stand up for something, especially depending on what you stand up for, what do you think that's going to speak to to your character, to your morals, to what you choose to be supportive about? Like, think about these things instead of sitting there and be like, well, this is a black issue, this is a white issue. Like, immigration is an all around issue, but I feel like the current administration, the current administration is making it seem like, no, it's only these type of people that we need to have a problem with, not these type of people. Like, immigration is an all around issue. There's people who come from different countries who fit different diasporas from everywhere. So it's not just, Latinos or black or Asian. Like, it's an all around issue.
Yeah. And I just want to point out that protesting may look different for everybody, right? Like, protesting doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to just be out there and be screaming with a bullhorn and boom, boom, boom. That's not everybody's personality. And that's 1,000% understandable. But simply, like, if you're in a room with people and you hear some out of pocket stuff, your form of protesting could be just checking that person right there and then. You know what I mean? It could be resharing resources. It could be just posting a little Insta story. Like, I'm not here clocking and making, enforcing that everybody should be outside with a sign. That may not be your personality. You may not be able to do that because of what your job is. But I just feel like just sitting there and not saying anything is a problem. And another thing is, I'm very much against just simply social media type of like
activism,
a facade type of thing, because there's also those people that just post something to just, be in the loop and make sure they're good with their friends, but behind the scenes there's a whole different story. And internally they know that they don't actually believe the things that they're posting it, and they're only doing it to be a part of whatever it is that it may be. So protesting looks different for everybody. I just think that, especially in the times that we're living in now, a lot of times people that are just of affluent communities, they have the luxury to be tapped in, and they know when, a primary election is happening. They know where the places are, who the people are that they got to vote for in order for them to stay at the top. And so minorities don't have that luxury, right? Like, a lot of people are working 9 to 5, paycheck to paycheck. They do not have time to be clocking in or know an election is even happening. And so that's why these people stay at the top and minorities are at the bottom. So we have to make sure that, I know it's not easy. It is a privilege to be locked in and be informed with all of these things. But if we do want the betterment for our community, we need to inform ourselves, because that's why we continue to, go back instead of forward.
Yeah. And I just want to make this last point, because I know a lot of times people hear the word privilege and they automatically have like a negative connotation to it. But it's just like, privilege isn't like, the word privilege isn't something where you look at it and it's something negative. The reason why people look at it as a negative is because people refuse to acknowledge that you are privileged. There's certain things that me growing up in a white town that I've been privileged to have before other schools, other people who live in different communities. But it would be ignorant of me to sit there and be like, oh, but no, like anybody can have the resource. No, sometimes you got to acknowledge the privilege. But even though you acknowledge it, you got to understand the communities, the people who don't have those resources, and speak up about that. Like, I was able to have that, but I know people who weren't. And that's unfair. And I feel like a lot of times people use that privilege, that like the idea of like, I've lived such a good life, to not look at things from the other side. And when you look at things from the other side, speak about it, So I think definitely, like Shayla said, protesting looks different for everybody, whether that's, I don't support this company because they're helping fund the guards being sent to LA or something like that. Like, everything looks different for everybody. But if you are just doing it to be like, oh, I want to just be like a part of the crowd, like, you are not protesting. You are just doing it to be, because it's popularized. Like, so recognize and understand where you want to go with things, and understand that like, this is just the beginning. Honestly, we're only 6 months in. We still got 3 years and 6 months left. Like, y'all, this isn't over. But let's get into our social corner. am so excited. But let me give you a quick breakdown on what our social corner is. If you are new here, our social corner is basically something where we see a bunch of different things either on our TikToks, our Facebooks, our Instagrams, and they're trending, they're talked about. And we want to talk about it too, give you guys our quick little takes, quick opinions, and, not go through a whole dissection of everything as we did at the top of the show where we talked about all our different topics. So the reason why I'm so excited is because your girl has finally got into Love Island. I know when we mentioned it last week, I talked about how like I've never actually watched an episode of Love Island. The only time I've ever watched Love Island were through the short 1 minute 30-second clips that I saw on TikTok, and then I went off my day. I also saw like people doing like think pieces and like stuff like that, on TikTok and stuff. And like, that's all I could basically go based off of, right? So shout out to Noemi. My friend was like, girl, we keep talking like she keeps coming up to me to talk about it, and I don't have like I can only talk about what I see on the small little clips that I see, but that really doesn't give me any insight to any situation. She's like, nah, you gotta watch it. So I started watching it. There's currently 9 episodes as of right now. There's 9 episodes out, and I was able to get to episode 8. I still have to finish episode 8. I'm halfway through. And then I have to start episode 9. But I just wanted to give a quick recap on everything that I have seen and talk about like the narratives that a lot of people have been talking about. And I don't see it. So just so I can give Shayla some insight, because since you don't know, I'm excited to tell you a little. Shayla isn't gonna go watch it. So I know
I'm like, I don't care for the show, but
right.
other people.
Right. But it's like, me, I don't usually give it like when it comes to show hype and stuff like that. Shayla, I tell you, I sit here and never watch it, right? But since it was like given to me, like, oh, Rebecca just here, and I'm like, everybody keeps talking about it, and there's a Haitian girl on there, and I'm an advocate, as you can tell. Listen, I'm here with you, sis. Okay, Haiti Sherry. So let me give you a quick breakdown, Shayla. So this is the cast, right? So I'll start from left to right. So the dude at the front, his name is Tyler. Then you had Ulissa. That's Olandria. That's Nick. That's Shelly, Jeremiah, Bella, but they call her Bella -A because her name is like Belle -A, but it's Bella. And then you have Ace, and then you have what's this girl named Huda and Austin, right? So Tyler is coupled with Olandria. Nick is coupled with a bombshell, and I'm gonna show you the bombshell because you don't know the bombshells. So the bombshells are Sierra. His name, why am I forgetting this man's name? Oh my God. I'm not worried about him anyway. Amaya and Hannah. Hannah's the blonde, right? So the couples, this is my first thought, right? Well, every time we've talked about like, would we ever go on a show like Love Island? I sit here and I'm like, I think I could do it. But then after watching this, I haven't, mind you, let's preface this by saying I haven't watched any other seasons. This is my first watching Love Island in its entirety for the whole season. Like last season when I had my PPG girls, the PPG men and everything like that, I've watched those clips on TikTok, but I've never watched those episodes. So I have nothing to compare it to. So if y'all say, oh, well, like, no, that's incorrect because in the past season, definitely clock me and let me know. Okay. In the comments below, obviously. And respectfully, don't get too smart. Okay. But so I was watching this. I was like, girl, I don't think I could do it. It was like too freaked out on episode 1, girl. They all had to sit there like they had to walk up to 2 guys. The girls had to pick 2 guys who they would kiss and then pick who they wanted to be coupled up with. And like a lot of these like challenges, they are kissing people. It's a lot of tongue swapping and spit.
Girl, I just want to be completely honest. All these shows are way too cringy for me. I literally I cannot watch. I can't watch the kid give a rose to some. Mind you, and I'm a rom-com girl, but I just really can't get into reality because I just feel like it's so fake. And a lot of these couples end up hitting the divorce tables. So I just feel like it's so cringy.
Oh girl.
can't.
I get it. And I think the reason why I fed into this hype is because, like I said, my girl Shelly, people kept talking about something like the Haitian girl. They were like, oh, like Ace is playing with my girl Shelly, this, that, that. I said, why are they playing with my good Haitian sis? And that's how you get people to watch. You get people that they would like, right? And I already like Shelly. In my head, that's my cousin. Stop playing with her. So the couples that I'm not going to touch on every couple because girl, we'd be talking about this for like 45 minutes. But the couples I really want to touch on. So when it comes to Shelly is with Austin, and Shelly is the one in the yellow bathing suit, and Austin is the one in the pink swim trunks, right? People are like, the narrative going around is that Austin really likes Shelly and Shelly really likes Austin. I feel like they just doing that to stay. Like, I feel like a lot of these couples that I'm about to talk about, like a majority of them, I feel like it's only been a week and a few days, right? So I don't know, maybe because I don't like nobody at the current moment. I feel like I really haven't had that connection with a guy, that I just feel like they moving real fast, but also they're on an island in a house with nothing else to do. So maybe they just feel this large, strong connection with these people. But like, I don't believe that. And so like, I just feel like Austin, he's like trying to put all his eggs in the basket of Shelly, and Shelly's trying to, juggle between Austin or Ace. And it's just like, oh, Charlie, that's the dude, the British dude that I was telling you with who's next to Sierra. Charlie wanted Shelly too, but Shelly didn't really want nothing to do with him. So right now it's like the love triangle of like Austin, Ace, and Shelly. I don't think that I don't think that Austin and Shelly really gonna go far. I think they're trying to portray it that way because they don't want to leave the island yet and stuff like that, just so they aren't single. But I don't see what everybody else is seeing. I think that Ace does like Shelly, and from what I've heard from past seasons, producers have a lot to do with how these couples go, and they'll be like, no, I want you to pair, like, you have to pair with this person, or we're basically like, do whatever to get you off the show and stuff like that. So when Ace chose Amaya, that boy don't want that girl. From the day that he coupled with her, Shayla, the day that Ace coupled with Amaya, and Amaya, I don't know what she is. I think she could be Dominican for all I know. I don't know, right? But when he coupled with her, that boy sat her down on the chair and said, I'm not really a physical touch type of person. I don't want to cuddle. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Personally, to me, if this is my first day meeting you and you tell me don't touch me, don't hold my hand, don't do nothing, I'm like, why'd you even pick me? Clearly you only want me to touch. Are you repulsed by me? Like, that would have been my reaction, right? So when I saw that, I'm like, this man clearly don't want this girl for real. Right. And Austin was interested in Amaya, but at the coupling, Ace went before Austin. So Ace ended up choosing Amaya, and Austin ended up partnering back up with Shelly. And it's just like, bruh, they already know if Shelly and Ace get together, I'm telling you, I think this is a producer thing. I said Austin. If Ace and Shelly get together, they are going to win the season. A lot of people think that Ace is manipulative and doing, like, there's all these like toxic narratives and stuff around him. Don't get me wrong. Like, I feel like he does have like that type of way, but the narrative that people are saying that he actually wants Huda, I don't see it. Huda to me is not cute. To me, she looked like Shrek in the face, but that's just me. And then Huda and Jeremiah, girl, just be doing the most. Okay, so Shayla, this is a question because I know you don't know what I'm talking about. So Huda is
I just want to say I wish I had something to add to this convo. I don't. But
okay.
if you also don't like Love Island, I suggest you watch The Better Sister, which I finished watching, and that is a great show. But ask the question.
So Huda is a single mother, right? She was in a relationship for 4 years. Her daughter is 4 years old, yada, yada, yada. So that is not a huge part of the storyline, but it's definitely a storyline. So she is with Jeremiah, right? They've been coupled up from the very beginning. And from the very beginning, they've been saying that their connection is so strong, this, that, and the third. They don't want to, like, they're keeping their relationship open, but they're going to explore, but they haven't really explored with nobody because Huda got all her eggs in Jeremiah's basket. And Jeremiah said that he got the whole basket. Huda, Huda's whole basket or anything. Like, girl, I don't know. But she finally told Jeremiah, like, she didn't want to tell him in the beginning, but I want to say, like, I guess at the end of the week of them being together, or like a week and a few days, she finally told him, like, I have a daughter, right? And so his reaction, he was like, she was like, look at me. He's like, I can't look at you right now. Like, he was like in disbelief because you just kind of dropped a bomb on him, because some people, like, it is a preference. Some people want to date people with kids and some people don't, right? It's all depending on where you gauge it, right? So my question to you, right? I saw a lot of people were like talking about Jeremiah's reaction, but I saw some people who kind of felt like me, where I was just like, honestly, if I go on a show for love and I have a child, I get it. People are gonna like privacy, their business and stuff like that. But the fact that I have a child is a big determining factor to me, because it's like, do you want to step into that lifestyle with me if we go beyond this island? Right. So my question for you is, if you were in that, like in those, like that type of, those were your shoes or whatever like that, and you had a child, are you keeping it a secret or are you telling people off the bat?
No, I feel like if you are really looking for true love and this is not just for a show and you actually want to find true love, you have to tell somebody that you got a kid. Cause it's like off rip, there's like non-negotiables in relationships. And if you don't have, I feel like you should have some non-negotiables. Nothing crazy, but like that, and having a like a sexually transmitting disease or something, like those are things that you have to set the tone off rip. Like, I have a kid.
Yeah.
And especially like when you're the mother, I feel like maybe a man is a bit different depending on like who the kid is with most of the time. But like, if you're the mom and the kid is with you all the time, once you get off of this island comes real life. So okay, that's cute that you love me, but then once we get off this island, we come back home, you come to my house and there's a child right there. So all of this thing that you think you built on the island is fake, because that can break a relationship. What you mean we've been on this island, I'm here falling for you, and you never told me that you have a child? Absolutely, you have to disclose that.
Yeah, yeah. I was just like, when she would like, she was like, "Oh, my heart is racing," like, because she told him she has a 2 bedroom, 2 bath. He's like, "Oh, who's the other bedroom for?" And she's like, "We'll talk about it later." I'm like, "Girl, why you be?" Maybe it's not that big a deal to me, because I'm like, if I have a kid, you're gonna either be with me or you're not gonna be with me. Like, we're a package deal, so I'm not hiding nothing, because I don't want to waste my time here. Like, I'm gonna invest all this time, energy into you, thinking I'm putting all my eggs in your basket, and the whole time you don't want this additional egg that I got. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think very weird. But all in all, to shorten my little recap, I
She said
think
to shorten.
to
Shorten.
shorten my little recap, yes, I think that Ace and Shelly are going to be endgame. I don't see Austin and Shelly going very far. I actually don't see the connection that people are saying that they see for Alandria and Tyler. I don't see what people see. I like, it just seems like they don't like each other for real. Like, I feel like they're trying to play into that, like, oh, we're gonna be together so y'all can stay on the island, but I don't see what y'all see. To me, I feel like a bombshell need to come scoop my girl Landria up for real. Sierra, she okay, she cool. Like, yeah, Huda and Jeremiah, y'all playing the game. Y'all are playing the game. Y'all are trying to make it seem like y'all are this strong. I'm sure y'all like each other, but y'all not gonna be together for real. Like, y'all, I feel like y'all both in it to win the game, and that's really it. But that's my little recap. If you have any thoughts on Love Island, by today, not today, by tomorrow or Sunday, I should be officially caught up on all the episodes. But like I said, feel free to comment below. And if you want to hit us up on any of our like too much pages like Facebook, anything like that, to talk about Love Island with your girl, I'm here with y'all. I'm gonna be with y'all. I'm gonna be locked in. But the next thing we're gonna talk about is the BET Awards. They recently happened, y'all. So first off, I want to ask, do you even watch award shows anymore? Because I don't.
I don't have cable, so usually I do not. But this year, Kaicenat and a lot of his like streamer friends were really involved in promoting it. So to be honest, if it weren't for Kaicenat, I wouldn't have even known that it was happening. So I watched it through his stream.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. I never know when the awards are shows are happening. It's not until I start seeing like who got the best outfit and I'm like, "Oh, what's happening?" Like, it's never even something like I saw that Kai was there, but even that didn't even motivate me to watch it. Like the last time I think I watched an award show was when Rihanna, I forget which award show it was, but Rihanna was performing and I was like, "Oh my god, it'd be crazy if Drake popped up and then Drake popped up." That was literally the last time I ever watched an award show, right? So a lot of things kind of happens at these current BET awards that I just wanted to talk about a little bit. So one of the conversations that's currently trending is Bow Wow. And so Bow Wow had brought his daughter Shy, and or like she was a surprise guest or whatever like that it was, right? She's 14 years old, I believe. And people are talking about her because of the outfit that she wore to the carpet. So let me just show y'all really quickly what it was.
You want to go ahead and say this is BT and we'll be back?
This is BT and we'll be back? That's all I
That's
say?
what you gotta say. Just say, yo, this is BT. Matter of fact, do it how your dad would do it.
No, I want you to do how I do it, because I'm the queen here. Dad, I'm almost as tall as you.
Okay, that's what we're not gonna do. All right, my daughter just crashed the set, and the first thing she says, she just got off the plane, and the first thing she says, Dad, I'm almost as tall as you. We ain't gonna do that, Shy. All right, we're not gonna do that. You look good though.
Thanks.
You look beautiful.
You too.
Got you on the record. This is their what? Third? No, a couple red carpets with Dad now, but not about second.
It continues, but you basically get an idea of what the outfit is. It's basically like a leotard and there's like a wrap and then like you can see a piece of her hip is out. So people are like basically coming at her mom's name is Joey Chavez. Not Chavez. Joey. I think that's her name. Whatever. So people are basically trying to come at her mother saying, "Oh, why would you even allow your daughter to go out looking like that?" The mother wasn't even there, right? That's the first point. The next point also is her father is standing right there with her. If he has a problem with the outfit, he needs to speak up and say something. And so Joey had basically also made a TikTok and she had said like they showed her this outfit of like a long sleeves and like a wrap and like she thought it was cute. What she didn't know was that there was going to be an opening on the side that basically showed her a piece of her daughter's whole upper thigh, right? And as social media, when things spread like wildfire, people love to sit there and come at people. And they were basically saying like, his daughter, like their daughter is too fast, that she's this, she's that, she wants to dress inappropriately. Like people are all basically coming at this little girl. You got something to say? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that like I saw what the mom had to say, and she said in the video that like she didn't know that the dress had a cutout, and neither did her daughter, and that this was essentially the stylist's fault because this is what her mom is claiming. I don't know, because sometimes people put the blame on people and everybody act like they don't know nothing to just like absolve themselves from the issue. I just think like as the mom or whoever the parental thing is, usually stylists have multiple options. And if you only had this one dress, I just feel like as a stylist, that was a lack. Like, what do you mean you only have this one option? And also, it's like, I get it. Life happens. Maybe this was the last minute invite. Who knows? But like, you didn't have fitting for this dress. It was just like maybe her schedule is busy, right? And she just thought that the stylist knew her and she would just pick up the right things. But from the small things that I know about stylists, they usually have several options. And so I hate this for her because her mom said that she also felt like her daughter felt uncomfortable on the carpet. And I think, the last thing you want your daughter is to feel uncomfortable on the red carpet during such a special moment where you're supposed to be having fun. And as someone that like, I know my style and I'm not one to be explicit in showing my body because that's just not what I like. And so that could just ruin your whole mood. Like if I don't like what I'm wearing and I got to be in the red carpet and everybody's going to be taking photos of you, that is just could set me off. So I just hope that moving forward, I'm pretty sure now they're going to be on top of it. And, if they do stay with the stylist, they express to them like we need several options, because if it comes to the day of the event and you only have one thing and I don't like it, then I'm going to be forced to wear it and then look at all the stuff that came with that. So you hate to see it.
Yeah, no, honestly, and like when I saw her say that her daughter wasn't comfortable, like I kind of got that because like the girl kept her hand like right here the whole time, like legs was crossed, like she looked like she wasn't comfortable in the outfit that she was wearing. And let's be for real, right? Like no tea, no shade. Whoever the stylist is, you should not be working with them again because one, not only was you don't have other options for a little girl, but again, we don't know. But like the outfit was ugly. I'm not even trying to be funny. I don't care who it could have been on. It could have been on anybody. It wasn't cute. It looked like, and you know, I love Rainbow, and Rainbow got some cute options, but like if I went to the clearance rack, I could have found that same leotard and I could have went to Kohl's and found that same scarf and recreated the same outfit. It was not cute. It did not give quality. It didn't even give a red carpet. It gave like wrap yourself up. You're about to go on for a last minute performance on a stage and you about to prance around. Like that's what it was giving to me. I thought the outfit was ugly anyway. And I hope, like to your point, I hope that this doesn't deter her from wanting to do any type of experiences like this again. And to Joey, if this is something that you're like the stylist has showed you and you know you didn't know you had a cutout, let this be a lesson. Next time, make sure you are on 10,000. I already know growing up, even for my prom dress, my mom made me try that thing on 3 times to make sure she liked how it hugged my curves. It showed nothing and things like that. You gotta be on it. Like, and I'm not speaking to no one's parenting. All I'm saying is I didn't like the outfit for her. She didn't look comfortable. And for people to sit here and get on the internet and call this little girl fast and everything like that and not know the whole situation, y'all are problematic. Y'all need to seek help today. Right. And so the next thing that was talked about at the BET Awards was Glorilla. So Glorilla won her first BET Award at the 2025 BET Awards, taking home the Dr. Bobby Jones Best Gospel / Inspirational Award for her song Rain Down on Me featuring Kirk Franklin and Maverick City Music, right? And let me just play her acceptance speech real quick before I get more into it.
This is my first BET Awards, even though I've been here 3 years to get nominated 6 times every time. It's a blessing to get the Gospel Award first because I owe it all to God. Shout out to BET too. I love BET too. Shout out to Kirk Franklin. I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of scared to ask him for a feature on this song because y'all know how I be rapping. But I was like, oh my God, when he said yes, I was so excited. I had this song in the bar for so long. Shout out to Maverick City, Kiara Shirt. Don't mind my accent, don't laugh at me. This is my first BET Award.
So a lot of people have had like a mixed reaction. And when I say a lot of people, the main person like I saw talking about it, and if I butcher your name, I apologize. Dietrich Hayden, he basically questioned whether the song was fit for the gospel category. So I've been seeing a lot of people who basically, and when you listen to the song Rain Down on Me, like you have Kirk Franklin's like, you know, portion, but then you also got Glorilla who's like rapping, but you know, like she basically like giving recognition and stuff like that. But it's just like, I feel like she's a rapper to me. I don't, even though her recent album did have like gospel notes to it, I don't think it's a gospel album in my opinion. So I think the confusion as to why she won, even though I feel like she won because Kirk Franklin's name is attached to it, not because people actually think this was like the best gospel song ever.
Do we know who else was nominated for that category?
I can definitely look it up.
I mean, I like the song, so obviously my opinion is biased, so I am okay with it. And I also feel like this is the BET Awards. Like this is not you know what I mean? Like I think BET, when I think BET Awards, a lot of the people that won was just very weird, and like some people that won I felt like shouldn't have won. So I don't know what the voting process is, but I like Glorilla.
So the nominees included Glorilla with her song Rain Down on Me featuring Kirk Franklin and Maverick City Music, as well as Common and Pete Rock featuring Jennifer Hudson.
Haven't heard that.
Huh?
You're gonna say the songs and I'm gonna say if I've heard that song. I haven't heard the second song, so that's
okay. Pastor Mike Jr., Friday, Yolanda Adams featuring Sir the Baptist and Donald Lawrence, Maverick City Music, Jordan Sparks. Girl, a bunch of
So that the reason why I asked that is like clearly that is exactly why Glorilla won. I feel like in this category, because out of all the other songs that were there, I feel like her song has gotten more.
But you see, for me, there's a lot of names in here, like of people who were nominated and stuff like that, who I know who are strictly
the song.
Okay, but I'm saying they have songs who they center, like everything that they do is centered around gospel music. So what I'm saying is there's other people who I feel like, let me see, I might butcher her name.
I just feel like what I want to say is it kind of gives how the Country Music Awards, how they came out or how they feel about Beyonce. Well, Beyonce isn't known as a country music artist, right? Like, we're not saying that Glorilla, well, not work, because I don't vote, I don't think. But what my point that I just want to get across is I don't think, no, Glorilla is not known as a gospel singer. That is a fact. But I feel like in this song, that was like her version of that. And because of Kirk Franklin being on the song and Maverick City 1,000% helped elevate this whole notion that it gives gospel because of them. If they weren't on the song, if she hadn't asked for that feature, would it have been considered gospel? Absolutely not, because that's not who she is. But I feel like this whole argument that we're not argument, but like the argument that we're having here with this, it kind of gives what people were, the country music artists or the community was trying to give with Beyonce.
No, because I feel like for the Beyonce argument, the reason why that was an argument is because it's just blatant racism. A lot of them people just did not want Beyonce to be associated, or Black people, period, to be associated with the category, period. I feel like for Beyonce is different because even though I know Glorilla had, like, her parents, like, she grew up in the church and everything like that, I just feel like the whole album isn't one for gospel. Like, the whole album isn't gospel. I know it's only for that song. I get that. But what I'm saying is, a majority of all the songs Beyonce has on that album are geared to country music, to the things that people talk about with country music and everything like that. And I get that.
Okay, so who should have won?
Girl, Yolanda Adams, Friday made a whole song. Pastor Mike.
But what album that you have heard? This is the BET Awards.
Girl, but this
album.
I don't have no album or song where I could specifically say should have won for the gospel music. What I am saying is there are people who are known specifically for the gospel category who have albums and songs that I don't listen to gospel music. So I can't even sit here and tell you there is a specific gospel song. But what I'm saying is I think that he should have been nominated for a completely different category than best gospel song. Yeah, was it gospel category? I think it was best gospel, whatever. But like, I just feel like there was different people who could have won for that category. But
I think we got the name of the awards. I don't think it was her whole album.
No, it's the song. That's what I'm saying. I know we probably said album, but we're talking.
Yeah, it's very much. I don't think it was. It says BET Award for Best Gospel Inspirational
Award for her song "Rain Down on Me." That's what I said.
Is given to an urban contemporary gospel artist. Urban contemporary gospel artist. I think the fact that she does give very much urban helped her out on that.
We just gonna have to agree to disagree on that one. The next thing we kind of wanted to talk about was the Kaicenat and Wale situation. And the reason why I wanted to talk about it is just like a man with a bruised ego gonna do anything. So this is the small clip of what happened.
What up, Rusky? You good? What you playing on your Nintendo Switch? Smash. Smash, bro? I'll beat you. Alright, gang. Chad, does anybody have the Nintendo Switch? You're not even a Nintendo Switch type of nigga. Nah, me neither. I ain't gonna lie. But I heard it was like crazy though. I heard it was crazy, bro. Wale. Oh my God, that was somebody crazy. Hey, the whole chat knows him.
Wale.
Wale? What he do?
Rap.
Oh, word?
Lotus Flower Bomb and all that.
Oh shit.
So after that, whole interaction had happened, this is the next thing that followed.
What? That's making me look crazy. The exchange that we had in the hallway. It's
Oh, my bad, bro.
they're running with it, but we'll talk later.
Yo.
So basically, quick little breakdown. At the 2025 BET Awards, streamer Kaicenat didn't recognize rapper Wale during a live stream, despite the two having played together in a celebrity flag football game in 2024. Their awkward interaction, where Kai admitted on the stream that he didn't know who Wale was, went viral. Wale later confronted Kai at the award show, saying the incident made him look crazy. Wale later clarified online that he didn't realize that they were being filmed and expressed confusion given their past interactions. He later joked about it on X by turning the moment into a playful Nintendo Switch post. And like, the reason why I would talk about it is because it's just like, I as someone who forgets people a lot, right? I forget people all the time. And there's people like, Rebecca, like, how don't you know who that person is? The guy, I don't know. They're like, oh, you met them before. I don't know. I don't remember. It's like, I can have a lapse in judgment. To me, I didn't think it was that big a deal to come to me a second time. Well, come to Kai a second time and be like, that makes me look crazy. Now you look double crazy because why'd you even have to come back and say anything? Like,
yeah, I think it was an innocent mistake, and Kai addressed the situation on his stream, and he played his song and he Googled like when Lotus Flower Bomb came out. And when the song came out, Kai was like 9 years old. Like, you know what I mean? And also, it's like, we all live in our own bubble. Like, I know a lot of like people, you know, in my TikTok world that Rebecca knows nothing about. And Rebecca knows a lot of people in her TikTok algorithm that I don't know. And I think also being in the industry every day, you're meeting so many people and making connections and doing this. And it's just like, if you know you are that person, like, you know, Kaicenat went up to Tyler Perry and Tyler Perry was just like,
who are you?
Well, he did not say, who are you?
I know, but like,
he just was like, hi, shook hand and keep it pushing. And Kai was just like, oh my God, I just met Tyler Perry. Boom, boom, boom. Like, he was so excited. And so the reality of the matter is that it doesn't matter how big you are. There is going to be someone in this world that still does not know you. And it is okay. And the quicker you accept that, the better it will be for you all around.
It was given bruised ego and sore loser. And it was just very much like, sir, pack it up. But the next thing we're getting into is our sports corner.
Tell them this, Diddy Mitch, Junior want to not be on my
Hey, go ahead, Shayla.
Hi, welcome to our sports corner.
That was
in this
so
sports
cute.
corner, we're talking about Angel Reese. She again has continued to get a lot of hate for being her, for being authentically, for being unapologetically Angel. You know, the Chicago Sky have not been doing good. They have been losing a lot of games. And so, you know, people have this misconception that like when you are an athlete, you don't have a life outside of that. So like, you know, Angel Reese is still popping out with her amazing fly outfits pre-game. She's still posting on social media. She still has a life, and that triggers some people. So in one of the press conferences, in one of the recent games, one of her teammates came to her defense and essentially was like, you know, she is a 20-year-old girl. She's doing the best she can, and she wears it the right way.
I have the clip. You want me to play it?
Yeah, if you want, you can play it.
23. I'm sorry. Can I say something? This is a 23-year-old kid. And the amount of crap that she gets on a day-to-day, and she still shows up. So whatever questions y'all got like about our team, basketball-wise, we appreciate it. But all the other nonsense, like, it's irrelevant. Like, we here to play basketball and do what we do. We having a hard time right now at the end of the day. Just a 23-year-old kid who handles herself with grace. Her crown is heavy. So whatever else, like, y'all want to come at her for the way that she acts, she has to build the wall. She has to have the wall. Because if she doesn't, people will break her down. Not only just because of the way she looks, but because of the way she carries herself. She doesn't just walk around and act like, oh, I'm this. No, she knows who she is. And we ain't going to break her down for that. So whatever other questions y'all got, like, I'm hoping it's just about basketball. Maybe a box score question. But the kid's crown is heavy. Like, respect that. Yeah.
I just want to say I love that she says something because I think it's very easy, especially like we've talked about Angel Reese before, how like people love to sit there and have anything to say about her. If she sat there and walked outside and sat in the grass, people would say, does she think she's a dog? She should be on the court playing basketball. Like people like love to hate on her, or like they just think, I don't know, maybe she's just a trending topic. So they like to add fuel to the fire on anything that she does. So I love that her teammates stood up for her because it's just like
Ariel Atkins. We want to
yes,
shout her
Ariel
out.
Atkins. I love that Ariel Atkins basically spoke up for her because it's like at the end of the day, basketball is their job, but also I have to live my life, right? And if y'all are bothered by someone who has a life outside of what you see them or feel like should be prioritized in their life, it's like get a life. Y'all are bored. Y'all are boring. Y'all don't got nothing else going for yourself for you to be bothered by small things like that. And I love that someone spoke up for her because it gets like if I have to always defend myself, it gets to a point where like, what am I defending myself for?
Yeah, and I also feel like, and this is coming from someone that I am very much like, I got it, I can handle everything, but it also just gets to a point where it's like it hits differently when it's coming from somebody else, because Angel has made it extremely clear, like, you know, like, I don't care, like, I let people talk, I whatever. But let's be honest, it gets to a point where it does break you down a little bit, and you do kind of feel some type of way, because it's like, dang, I'm always showing up for my team. No, I'm not always going to be 100, because we are humans. Like, I get tired. You know what I'm saying? Like, we not always at 100. And I think sometimes athletes or celebrities in general are held to a different standard. And it's like, we all have our bad days. You know what I mean? Like, the Chicago Sky right now is going through a lot. The roster construction, they just got a new coach. Like, there's just so many variables that, like, now you putting everything on me. Okay, our team is losing, so I can't go out to an event. Like, let's be for real. Sometimes when things are going bad at your job, what you say, oh wow, I need a night out. Right. So it's like, well, these athletes can't do that. They can. And so I'm glad that she spoke out, because I feel like sometimes when you have that personality type of I got it, some people feel like, well, I'm not gonna say nothing because, you know, she always says that she got it and she can handle things herself. But I know 1,000%, and you heard it there, she said thank you. I know that made her feel good inside. Like, wow, I needed that to come out of someone else's mouth, because I'm tired of saying it. And when it comes from other people, especially like someone that's a vet on the team, it comes off a bit differently, or like the weight is more, it means more.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. And like, I feel like it's just important to sometimes have people back you, because like I'm similar to you in that way. Like I'm very much like, you don't gotta speak up for me. Like I'll speak up for everybody else, and then people don't do that for me all the time, and I just be like, it's okay because I got me. But it's like, if I'm over here defending myself or like speaking truth, like speaking my truth, and like Shayla comes behind me and stands 10 toes on like, yeah, like da da da, Rebecca, this, that, and whatever, and supports me, to me, it's like, it feels good. Even though I knew I had it, it feels good to know that I had somebody else in my corner who was willing to like back my play, speak to me, like, and like uplift me, you know? So I just love that I saw that. And if you hated that or whatever feelings you had towards that, ain't nobody worried about you. Okay, for real. And so I want to get into our wind down like portion really quickly to ask a question, and let's just get into that real quick. Welcome to the wind down portion. We don't do this a lot. Like I feel like we used to do it a lot in the beginning, but we usually just be boom, 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 with like social corner, sports corner, everything like that. But I just wanted to get into our wind down portion is basically where it's in the title, where we wind down a little bit and just have a quick little cool little conversation about something that we would love for y'all to discuss with us as well. And I just want to say shout out to Deanna, because she's the reason why I wanted to ask this question. Now, Shayla and I did have this conversation on our Too Much TikTok live, but I just wanted to have the conversation with y'all on here also and ask Shayla and get her answers and everything like that too. So Shayla, the question is, do you feel like going to the movies is a first date type of activity?
No, I don't think so, because A, you don't really get to talk a lot. And also, I just feel like the whole point of a first date is to get to know each other. And I just feel like there's not a lot of space to get to know each other if you go watch a 2-hour movie.
See, I feel like for me, it's kind of opposite because like I feel like I don't mind the idea of the movies being my first date as long as there's something following it. If we just happen to just go to the movies and then we leave, you're like, okay, good night, kisses, and leave, baby, we friends from that point on. We homeboys. Like if that's like if there I feel like it is a first date if there's something following it. Like people always say like to always do movies and dinner because then at least when you guys get to the dinner you could talk about the movies and things like that. But I think for me, all in all, and this is kind of where I wanted to lean the conversation into when it comes to like the idea of a first date, for me, it's like I'm not really too concerned too much about it being the movies and like us being at the movies and stuff like that. Like, I'm not too concerned about that. I think the fact of initiative is what shows me what I need to see for the first date. Because me, I'm the type of person, and I know a lot of people have like these different ideals and everything like that. Like, oh, my man needs to be the one paying all this and stuff like that. One of the things that I always say is that I don't believe that I want to date a man, marry a man, and everything like that. I'm talking about for me. I feel like a man should always ask the first date, right? And I'm talking about in terms of my circumstance, right? I feel like if I have to, like, there's been so many times when guys have been like, oh, like, we should link. And I'm like, yeah, like, we can, like, plan something and we could do that. And they're like, okay, yeah, like, we'll find a day. And nothing ever happens with that. Like, you show me no type of initiative. If you tell me, yeah, like, we could do a movies and go out to eat afterwards, the initiative on that alone, you got me. We good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that if you choose to go to the movies, I'm automatically gonna like throw you out the bus, like, oh, I'm never gonna go on a date again. I'm just saying that I like to talk and get to know people. And so I would prefer us not go to the movies for the first date. Definitely it could be second, third, fourth, fifth, but I just feel like I would prefer not to go to the movies. But if that's what you choose, like, I'm not gonna say no. I like to go to the movies. I just think we're not gonna get the most out of a first date if we choose the movies as the first option.
So would you be more opposed to it if it was like, okay, they're like, oh, let's go to a movies and like afterwards there's this restaurant I want us to go to? Like, would you be more?
No, I just think that's too much of a long date. Cause I just feel like, what if I don't like you for real and I already committed to like 20 hours to be with you? I think first date, I need one event because I don't know, what if I don't like it? Because the movies now are like max 3 hours. So we're going to be in this movie theater for 3 hours and I still got to go out to eat with you? No. One thing.
No, I'm not gonna lie to you, because Shayla and I have been on a few dates with people where we just like, yo, we're not really feeling them at all. No, but I feel you though. Like, I'll probably make an excuse after the movie, like, oh, like, I'm really, like, I feel sick.
I wouldn't want to do that because I feel bad and I know I wouldn't just cancel. I'm very big on like on my word. So if I commit to something, I'm gonna do it. So first date, we're gonna go to one thing. It's different if like I already after the first event, I'm really feeling you and then we extend it. But I don't want to off rip have this whole itinerary and I don't even know you for real.
Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. I still believe that like going to the movies could be a good first date. Like I said, I would like something to follow, but now that you mentioned, like, what if I really don't like you? Because I'm trying to think about past dudes, and if they were like, oh, after the movie, like, oh, let's go out to eat too, I'd be stressed. I'd be so stressed. But y'all definitely let us know in the comments below on how you feel about going to the movies for a first date or any other topics that you have seen us talk about throughout this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments. Like I said, Shayla, what do you want them to comment this week?
Comment waves, oceans, because it has been real hot here in Jersey, but it's like we get 1 or 2 days of summer sun and then we get rain again. So I guess we can't have it all. Comment the ocean because I'm ready for to go to the beach.
Yeah, by the time this episode comes out, it's gonna be Yeah, by the time this comes out, we're already gonna be entering the week of my birthday.
What you mean
So
it comes out today? It's Friday, June
yeah, but
13th. What you talking
we
about?
won't be putting out another episode until Friday.
Right, but this episode goes live today. So
Right.
by the time this go out, it's not your birthday week yet.
But what I'm saying is this be posted for a week until we get to the next episode. So during this week of this video accumulating, my birthday already done passed. It's on Wednesday, June 18th. So honestly, you could put whatever emoji Shayla want, but just say happy birthday to me.
Period. Happy birthday.
Also, I want to say happy birthday to Mama Eugene, because my mom's birthday is June 17th. My birthday is June 18th. And also, happy Father's Day to all the fathers. If you rock with your father, happy birthday to your father. If you don't,
happy birthday.
Wow. Happy
Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Yes. And if you are a deadbeat, don't even sit there and act like you.
Girl, why are you even giving them space right? This for the
right.
fathers.
We talk about the active supportive fathers.
Yes.
Happy Father's Day
Shout
to y'all. Happy birthday to my mama. Happy birthday to me. And also, if you are a praying person, pray for all great wishes for Shayla. Okay. Amen. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode. If you haven't already, like we mentioned, like, comment, and subscribe. And also follow us on all our social platforms: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and the handle is Too Much SB. But that is all from us today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching.
See you next Friday.
Bye.
Bye.